The Michigan Wolverines are now 3 seasons through Jim Harbaugh and have yet to reach a Big Ten championship game. After losing their final 3 games, they finished a disappointing 8-5, a record that really does not accurately represent how good the team was. Really, the Wolverines were just killed by their schedule, featuring Florida, Michigan State, Ohio State, and road trips to top 10 Penn State and Wisconsin. This year, it doesn't really get much easier, drawing Michigan State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame on the road. However, I believe in Michigan this year. Their defense last season was one of the best in the entire country, finishing 14th in points against per game with 18.4 and 3rd overall in yards against per game, behind only Wisconsin and Alabama. Their secondary unit was one of the best in the country, giving up only 11 passing scores and keeping opposing QBs at a 48.8 completion percentage. The D-line was very talented as well as the linebacker core, and they both will be one of the best in the country again. They returned nearly all of their starters from that defense and are primed once again to have one of the best defenses in the country. Questions for Michigan are really just on offense. They've had problems in their big games recently on offense, more specifically in turnovers and in general at quarterback. Last year, quarterback John O'Korn had 11 turnovers himself in 9 games, even when he often would split time during those games. However, this year will be different as they bring in Ole Miss transfer Shea Patterson, who has been granted immediate eligibility by the NCAA. I believe this is at last a quarterback that Michigan has been waiting for, specifically Coach Harbaugh has been waiting for to complete his team. The Wolverines returned leading rusher of 11 touchdowns and nearly 1,000 yards Karan Higdon for his senior season, as well as second rusher Chris Evans, who totaled 685 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns in his sophomore campaign last year. Problem for Michigan that will need fixing this season is their receiving game, after finishing 49th in rush yards per game, yet 111th in receiving yards last season. They only threw 9 touchdown passes last year, the fewest in Michigan football in over 40 years. The Wolverines do return their top 3 receiving targets in tight ends Zach Gentry and Sean McCon, and wideout Grant Perry. However, the 3 of them combined for less than 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. With Patterson, Michigan should be able to feed these 3 the ball a lot more often, as well as 5-star 2017 recruit Donovan Peoples-Jones, a wide receiver and return specialist who was Michigan's Rookie of the Year last season, and additional sophomore talent Tariq Black. The O-line is a little shaky, but the Wolverines in general are looking like this could be the best team Harbaugh has put together. Michigan has returned to relevance in the first 3 seasons of Harbaugh, but just can't seem to break through in the biggest games of the season, something that I think will change this season. I've got the Wolverines kicking the season off with a big win at Notre Dame, going on a revenge tour by beating Wisconsin and Penn State since they have those 2 at home this year. Not sure they will be able to beat both Michigan State and Ohio State on the road, in addition to their other big wins, but I do think they at least take out 1, meaning they'll finish 11-1 overall as the best season under Jim Harbaugh and inching closer to the playoff and Big Ten championship, possibly sneaking in an appearance depending on how they do on offense and in their biggest games.